Hey, it's Ethan with ComTech. Today I am here to demonstrate the use of the Yealink CP935W conference room phone. Now, what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to go directly off of this sheet here, this help guide. So if you do not have this help guide from ComTech, you can go in the description below. There's a link. You can grab it from there. Now, before I start going over this sheet, I do want to highlight that this phone is wireless. It does use Wi-Fi. It's actually sitting on its charging base right now, but I'm not going to pick it up because I don't want to move the camera angle here, but you can pick it up and you can move it wherever you want. It is battery. It has a battery in it. So as long as you have a good Wi-Fi signal, then you should be able to use it. I'm telling you all of this because in this video, I'm not going to show you how to connect the Wi-Fi. That'll be a separate video, but you will need the Wi-Fi connected to be able to use the phone as a phone. So let's start down the sheet. The very first thing is making a phone call. The way you make a phone call is you press the little green phone button there. It gives you a dialer. You dial out. Now, if you're using the ComTech phone system, then you don't need to dial 9. You don't need to dial 1. You'll see there aren't any lines to pick up. You just dial a 10-digit number and then press the call button and it'll call. Ending a call, pretty self-explanatory. When you're in a phone call, that little green button that you see there, that little phone, it'll turn red. And if you press the red phone, it hangs up the call. Redial and instant redial, I'll cover these two together. So if you press the call button, it'll give you, you probably can't see it completely here, but there is a dial pad, and behind the dial pad is a bunch of numbers that I have dialed before. So if you want to dial a number that you have dialed or that you previously have dialed, or the last one that you dialed, press the button again and it'll put it in there, and then you press it one more time and that's an instant redial. So hopefully that made sense. Hold and park, I like to cover these together. Hold is personal. So if you're on a phone call and you need to go and check on something, maybe you're going to check on some documentation or something like that, and you tell the client, hey, I'll be right back. When you're on a phone call, there'll be a button that says hold. Just press the hold button. They're going to hear hold music. Go and do what you need to do. Come back, press the hold button again, and then you'll be back on the phone call. Now, hold is personal. Park is public. So park, depending on what your setup is, you may or may not have parks, but the way that our system works here at ComTech is if you press the DSS key, you will see the parks there. Now, if you're on that same phone call that I gave you the example earlier, and let's say you're talking to your client and the client says, hey, I would like to speak with Jim. You need to go and check with Jim. What you're going to do is on the phone call, you're going to press that same DSS key, and then you're going to press any of those park buttons. When you do that, it's going to put that call into what we call a public parking lot. So when that happens, you can then call Jim or go to Jim's office and say, hey, so-and-so's on park 3 or whatever park you put them on. Jim would then just click park 3 on his phone, and then the call would be over there, and we should be good to go. So hopefully, again, that made sense. Park is public hold, hold is personal hold. Intercom, I'm not sure if you would ever do that from a conference room phone, but you might. If you press the dial button, if you dial *50, and then you dial whatever extension, let's use Jim for an example. You dial whatever Jim's extension is. If he's extension 100, *50, 100, you hit the call button. It's going to go directly into Jim's phone, into his speaker, and you can say, hey, Jim, are you in there? Again, using that example earlier, you have a call on park 3, something like that. Transfer and transfer directly to voicemail. Again, I'm not sure you're ever going to do this from a conference room phone, but I want to cover it because you can do everything that you can do on a regular T54 or whatever type of desk phone model. You can also do from a conference room phone. It just works a little bit different. It's got a couple different options there. But transfer. So if you're on a phone call, there is going to be a button on there that says transfer. When you press the transfer button, it's going to ask you what extension you would like to transfer it to. type in, again, let's use Jim in this instance, type in Jim's extension, which is extension 100, and then click transfer again. Now you have to hit transfer that second time to send the call through. So again, you're on a phone call, transfer the extension, and then press transfer once more. Now, transfer directly to voicemail. If you know Jim's in a meeting, you don't actually want to move the call to where it rings his phone. You want it to go straight into Jim's voicemail. You do everything that I just described, but instead of hitting, or what you would do is you would hit transfer, and then instead of typing just Jim's extension, you're going to press 7 in front of the extension and then transfer. That's what tells the system to send the call directly to voicemail. So again, the example is transfer and then 7100 because that's Jim's extension, and then transfer again. Conference, if you're on an active phone call, then there will be a conference button, or there will be, I believe on the conference room phones, it actually says invite as of right now in May 2022 when I'm recording this video. They may change it, but it should be pretty obvious. You're going to press invite or conference. You're going to type in whatever 3-digit or 4-digit internal extension or external number. If you had an external number, then that's fine as well. When that person answers, you can merge those calls on the screen. D&D button, this is a common button that we hear about. So if you scroll down from the top on this conference room phone, there is a button right here that says D&D, and that stands for Do Not Disturb. If you turn that on, it is actually going to pop up here at the top and say Do Not Disturb mode is enabled, and it's got a little red circle with a white line through it. What that means is you have put this phone into Do Not Disturb mode, which means it can make outbound calls just fine, but if anyone calls this extension directly, it's going to immediately go to their voicemail. So if you have the issue where you're not getting phone calls, but you can make phone calls, then you may need to just go in here, uncheck that, and now you're back to where you can make phone calls. Volume is down here. That's the last thing I'll pretty much cover here. And we like to call this volume, or I like to call it situational volume. So whatever your current situation is, that's what the volume will change. So as the phone's just sitting here not doing anything, if I was to hit the up arrow here, or the up on the volume, it's going to increase the ringer. But if I'm on an active phone call and I can't hear my client, then I'm going to hit the same up volume button. So it's whatever your situation is, that's what the volume changes. To request support, you can email support@comtechnc.com or give us a phone call. We'll be more than happy to talk to you and work through any issues you may have with this phone or any of the other Yealink phones. I do realize that there is a back to this sheet. I am not going to go over the back in this video because that is about setting up voicemail and passwords, that sort of thing. I don't think that it's likely that you're going to be a typical user and have a conference room and have a voicemail and that sort of setup. So if you need anything, just let us know. Have a great day. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. Now you can click that subscribe button, or you can leave us a comment below. We look at every single one of the comments because it allows us to make better videos for you, and I will be the one who actually responds back to your comment. If you want to look at us evaluating your system to make sure that your Yealink system is running the most efficiently and you're getting the most out of it, then shoot us an email at sales@comtechnc.com. I will have that link here below, and we look forward to hearing from you.